Well, part two of my ranting this morning. It's around 5 in the morning, West Coast time. It's still the 9th of August, 2024. We were John C. Roseman, California. I'm listening to MSNBC right now. Uh, as live as it can be when on streaming anyway. And they're talking about Trump and what their opinions are regarding the speech. Now, I was getting glimpses of it, but the main speech is still out there where he's just rattling and raving. And last night they were having a field day. So this morning they're going to have another field day with him. I'm sticking on MSNBC for right now because I still wanted to get the reactions of what Lawrence had said last night on MSNBC concerning about the media, including CNN, who was having a field day over that shit. Yeah. So we're going to be waiting for these guys to, say the piece on this one. Now I was talking about, I'll put these guys off. Yeah, it's going to screw things up. I was talking about the movie Colors because I was trying to talk about Taylor Swift, which led into the movie Colors, which I don't know. My mind was kind of working in that kind of aspect in the first place. I was trying to get used to hip hop, certain styles of music. Because I listened to some of the music of Taylor Swift a while ago, not to mention Lady Gaga, and I got into that. And I was trying to get into it. Okay, but I was also remembering the music concerning about the times I had to live in, which was the 1980s, which was mid to late 70s to the 80s of gang warfare. And this song and this movie came out, and main theme of it was done by Ice-T. This is from the soundtrack, and I'm getting this off of YouTube on this one. It's hard as hell. It's hard as hell to listen to because this is the stuff we had to go through. I'm not quite sure if I actually want to put the explicit or not on this one. I mean, they did have explicit and extended remix in this thing. I listened to it once, or maybe a couple of times, so before I'd seen the movie. I've seen his acting, like in the 90s to 2000s and later on in that. This one is like gangsta. And I'm forewarning you folks. You may not like it as much. I know. Probably I won't either, but this is the kind of music. I didn't hear it on the radios, on the regular stuff, because I listened to the rock and roll stuff. I grew up on the rock and roll. I also grew up on the movie classical themes. Uh, a few other pieces of music of genre I was listening to. But when it came down for gangster or gangsta, that was never the territory I listened to. That was never the stations. I mean, I listened to the 50s and 60s when they had the classic stations out there. They called that music classic. Now these days you just call it, what the hell is it again? And I listened to it from a lot of times, and some of that music I would listen to in different areas of the Southland. This one, okay. So this is from Ice-T. This is a copyrighted portion of it, okay? This is copyrighted. I'm just putting YouTube and Google on it. Still scared the hell out of me when I was listening to this stuff. I mean, this stuff was just, I couldn't even get into it. But I gotta get past the damn commercials first. I didn't do the uncensored. This is censored, by the way. Oh,
just don't matter. Sucker died for your life when my shotgun scattered. Color, the gangs of LA will never die. Just multiply colors. Color, color,
I'm putting it on pause because I know YouTube and Google will have a field day over this damn thing. And this song out there is hard. It's harsh to listen to. I've heard worse when it comes down for language. Yeah, languages out there that I've listened to that wasn't exactly human language, except telling people how to denigrate people with this certain type of language. This was telling the story, the soundtrack in itself. I just played a little bit of this clip. Now, I didn't grow up in what they call South Central LA. No, I was probably raised in the privileged area of the San Fernando Valley. God, head games we weren't there in those days. See, I would love to get a message like this over to Vice President Kamala Harris. Trying to compare Oakland to certain portions of the valley of maybe back in the 80s where they did the same thing. I wasn't walking the streets like I'm a big bad asshole this morning over here. No, I wasn't. I lived in North Hollywood. A lot of my videos that tell about where I lived at. North Hollywood, California. You want to do Google Maps on that one? Go ahead. You type out North Hollywood, California, then locate the streets of Van Owen and Coldwater. I'll talk about Trump when I talk about Trump and about the rallies, but this I'm talking about things that also matter to me as much. But here's the thing. Apparently the internet seems to be having a slowdown because I've been having problems trying to get back into Spectrum, my cable dealer. Give me cable, give me cable, give me. I got money for you. Give me cable, give me. Cable. Said they were my dealer, right? Okay, San Fernando. Portions of North Hollywood, right by. Let's see. There was also Van Nuys. There was also troubles about it before Panorama City. Who said we didn't live in popular times during those days? Right now, I don't know what the hell the feeling of the valley is, but back then, even certain areas you weren't exactly feeling comfortable with. You stayed in your own territories, but you also go out when you can. And if you're privileged enough to drive a different areas, well, drive through the areas. Okay, Van Owen. There is a wash going through the San Fernando Valley. One of the washes, anyway. Fulton and Van Owen. And between that and the street of Coldwater Canyon, somewhere in that area, was Ethel. That was my hood. My brother's hood, that was North Hollywood. If he's on a bike, and he was always on a bike, you start off pedaling your ass off like crazy. And he had more experience going on different areas than I had because he was older, he was allowed, and he had friends all over the place and went over to his school. First over at Coldwater and then over to Madison. And they got along with each other and they had bikes to ride all over the area, including as far as Lancashire or more than that. But they always had a certain time limit that they could actually explore the areas. Lucky them. I didn't have that opportunity. I didn't have that chance. No, I kept being an accident case. Trip and fall. All right, Dave, what you do wrong? I didn't do it. Johnny didn't. Sure he did. Poor brother. But still, my brother got to know the neighborhoods. He got the road in certain areas and stayed out of certain areas. You had your own territories to stay in and keep away from. But he would explore. When he started to drive, we explored in the car. So that grew my experience of what San Fernando Valley was like in different portions of it. And wherever we were going, we'd locate stuff. So for 38 years, I even did my portion of a bike as a high schooler. I finally got out of the clumsy stage. I was actually able to explore a few areas myself. I keep this in mind, 38 years gives you time enough to explore half the valley anyway. Not all of it, though. Should have, but I didn't. Certain areas I stayed in territory, and other days I didn't. One day when I was driving through, we drove through. But this was home. When we were talking about the 1980s and the gang fightings, yeah, there were certain portions of, I said before, in Van Nuys had it, Panorama City had it. Uh, Not as much in Mission Hills because we didn't hear anything about that one. San Fernando, we didn't hear that much. Sun Valley, we did. Portions of North Hollywood. Burbank, we heard. But Burbank didn't dealt with them all that much. There were certain areas landlocked in the valley that you'd stay away from or drive through it fast or try to learn to get along with certain areas and certain people out there. People just trying to live, trying to exist. That's what all they were trying to do during those days. So I was listening to the music Colors. It was bringing me back in those times, back in the 80s, where I was hearing things in a police scanner, but also seeing things in the news that didn't exactly jive with each other. Do we get to go back to the political crap again? Oh. Acid reflux. So according to the more than an hour long emotional baggage that Trump was offloading people. It's a sick world. It's a bad world. It's going to get worse when he gets in here. I gave you guns. I gave you. I. He was doing that damn shit back in 2016. People ate it up. I alone. I alone. I alone. Give me a break. How many shootings and how many places actually did have marches going along over here? They're just good, fine people on both sides. Yeah, right, sure. But certain portions of it, he may have been hitting it. I have to give the gas bag credit on this one. And I'm still concerned about it. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, and it still scares the hell out of me. We've got things more and more heated up than we ever seen. At least in my experience in learning about history, limited as it is. History keeps rewriting itself from everybody else. This happened. No, this didn't happen. This happened. No, this didn't happen over here. Trust me. Yeah. Yeah, right. I'm seeing what's happening in front of my own eyes. I'm trying to hear what's happening on corporate media. And sometimes I have to go in another independent source over here, and they'll say, "You can't do that." Why not? You ever hear of Al Jazeera English? Yeah. It is a slanted viewpoint of what's happening. As I said before in my other videos a long time ago, the news is slanted on how we're presenting it to people left and right. It was slanted when when we hit the town criers, and it's slanted when we start rolling off the first press, and it's still gonna be slanted left and right. But elements, we have to keep tearing it apart. We've lost the ability, apparently, to be critical thinking of what we're looking at. Now, if we're talking about fire information, about things burning up left and right, okay, yeah, we showed the dramatics and we want to get the ratings on that one. But we're also doing a public service announcement of which neighborhoods are maybe getting fried and the other ones not. Or if the other areas are getting smoked out. Okay, that I can understand. We get earthquake data, we get earthquakes going on. That's legitimate news right there for me. We get hurricanes, that's another thing. We get tornadoes. We get meteorological and science stuff happening at us all the damn time. That I can handle because I can decipher all that if I can as much as I can. When it comes down for politics, it's all perception, perspective. How many buttons are we going to be pushing on you before you're going to react or overreact or not react at all? And we're going to be listening to this person whether or not they're going to be delivering us from evil or into evil, depending on your viewpoint and perspective again. That's how we look at it. Regarding to one particular independent person out there who is making his viewpoints of what he saw about J.D. Vance, trying to get comments from Kamala Harris. Harris is not ready to deal with this schmuck. She is really not. She'll deal with Trump, but she's not going to deal with J.D. Vance. Yeah, she ignored him. She ignored him. If he was presidential candidate, that's one thing. He's vice president. The vice president candidate. No, she'll let Walsh go after him. They've been going after each other on the damn public rallies left and right. Let's see if these kids can get together and have a party with each other on a speech debate. Trump is still pissed off that he still has to go on ABC to do his thing. And if they keep the people away, hopefully he'll keep them focused on what he needs to answer. He doesn't like to deal with this shit. He also wanted to have his own crap on his own territory, Mar-a-Lago, or even Fox, where he can get the sounding box he needs to support him and to drown out Kamala Harris if necessary. That's not going to happen. She'll probably agree to the only one, and he'll be crowing about the other two that he just said, I agreed to. Did she agree to it? No. Because you guys didn't talk about it publicly about it. Did you talk about it privately? Nope. You just want to make sure that your people knew about the damn shit. That's how it goes. So while the corporate media is going to be going left and right at each other, I've got them on mute right now. Last week, I've been feeling the aftershocks. I've also looked at the USGS on the aftershocks. They still scared the shit out of me. I've also been trying to keep track of the fires going on out there. They're park fire, my God. Can we talk about this one here? Another video.